This is deck 1. I have the Seven of Cups, the Page of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. What these cards show me is that your man has choices in his love life. I wouldn't be surprised if he sees quite a few ladies. It shows me he is a very romantic person. He is very sensitive and charming. He might also be handsome. I see a man that uses his social media quite a bit to get dates. He might have a boys' club that he's involved with in relation to talking about the ladies he sees. With the Page of Swords and the Seven of Cups together, it shows me that he can be very cutting with his words in terms of the choices he has in love, but that he communicates that immaturely. That indicates to me that he has conversations by SMS or via social media with other men, because you have both the Page of Swords and the Knight of Cups here. The reason I think it's that sort of communication is because those are popular formats for communication, and with the page here, it shows me that the communication isn't complex. So I take that to be SMS or social media communication. It shows that he is ready to strike down all of the choices before him. And the challenge is that he's a terribly sensitive person generally. So this is the difficulty in the relationship. He's not trusting his loving, sensitive side in your relationship. You can see he thinks about the ladies he dates very carefully. I feel he looks upon each one as a prize, and he considers their worth and their personality. You can see he very much looks upon all of the ladies as individuals. I wouldn't be surprised if you met online, because these cards indicate to me he's on Tinder or something like that, because you can see him looking at all the choices before him. If that isn't the case, then you are interested in somebody that crushes over quite a few ladies at the same time. I can see, however, that it is the case that you feel he's the one for you, because he does appear to be emotionally sensitive and caring. But the difficulty lies in his immaturity. He has some beautiful ladies in front of him, including yourself, but he simply has a nature that can be cutting. And the challenge is going to be for him to graduate out of the page energy and into a more emotionally developed person, as you can see in the Knight of Cups. He is intelligent, but I'd say he's more of a clever person. He's very talkative and has convinced you that you are his next love. That's his minor talent. But the challenge is he's not moving away from his boyish behaviour, even though the opportunities in love are before him. And the truth of the situation is that he is a single fellow, but he is non-committal. And I guess that's his deception, because he tries to insinuate to these ladies that they are the one for him. But there are many trophies on his shelf, and I think he can be manipulative with his love, because he does appear to have a very loving side to him, but it's used in the wrong way. It's used in a way to bring him options and to charm the ladies. It's not used to progress his feelings in a genuine relationship. Because with the Page of Swords here, it shows that he's capable of making empty promises to a person. And you know, any page is quite energetic, particularly the Page of Swords. So it shows me that he moves from lady to lady quite quickly and has enough energy to see quite a few ladies at the same time. I wouldn't have suspected it from this card, but with the Page of Swords and the Seven of Cups together, the Knight of Cups indicates to me that he is capable of trickery, particularly with his emotions, and that shows up as one of his challenges in the relationship. It shows me here again that he has two sides to him, the dark side and the light. So I think that's where the confusion lies, because you are led to believe he is quite a sensitive and loving soul. But the truth of his feelings are that he's immature in terms of love. And it shows me that the immaturity is connected to his dark side. And the trickster often raises his ugly head if he doesn't like something you said or did. And it's hard to gauge what you could do or say to make him feel sensitive, because he is cutting by nature. I don't think you could say much before the situation falls to pieces, but in saying that, he is very convincing. If he feels he can convince you that he is the loving soul, he will play up to that role. But you also must expect that he will cut you down at some point. So I guess it's a bit of a buyer beware situation, because his feelings are not that obvious. And the true reason for his feelings is that he wants it all. I think he can be a selfish person, and he wants everything his own way, on his own terms. This is deck 2. I have here the Star, Strength, and the King of Coins. These cards show me that his true feelings towards you are quite strong and stable at present. He fantasizes about you quite a bit. He thinks you are a shining light, and that you are very much his focus now. He thinks about how you spend your money, because he thinks you spend it like water. But he also thinks you are the most beautiful lady. The situation is that he feels you have the strength to control him with your purity and your beauty. I can see the challenge here is also wealth and stability, and I take it from these cards that there is a disproportionality between your situations, where he is very secure in his wealth and situation, but that you are not. So I take it he is a professional or owns a business, because it shows in these cards that his feelings are very strong towards you, but that the challenge is his business affairs and the fact that he sits in a firmer position than you, wealth-wise and stability-wise. However, there is so much respect in these cards towards you from him. He doesn't see you as somebody lower than him. He sees you as somebody quite radiant and strong, somebody he can look up to as a guiding light. But it also shows that you could be out of reach to him, because it shows that he is reaching out for you, but he can't quite get there. I don't know what that means, except it kind of indicates to me that maybe he's made some attempt to show himself or communicate with you, but that he couldn't approach you or get the words out to start the conversation about progressing your love affair, something like that. It also shows here that you have had to face a test of will with a dragon, and he really admires how you handle this situation, because it shows you were dealing with a couple of snakes and this dragon, just as a metaphor. And you must have stood firm, because he looks upon you as the lady that fought a dragon, and it tamed the lion within him, which means he must be willing to surrender to your beauty and your strength, because you did something that he admires. I think he admires you because he is also a very strong person. It shows in this card that he has the head of 2 bulls on his chair, so he can wrangle the best of them, and other strong men are his trophies, so he must be a very solid character. He can be a jealous person though, and it shows here that he enjoys his cake. It also shows me he's bigger in stature, so he is either going to a gym and builds himself up, or he has a very solid build. He must also like cooking, because I get the impression he's always cutting up vegetables and making a meal. And wine, he loves his wine if he's a drinker. It shows that very clearly in these cards, but I can also see that he has or owns relatively simple things. He likes the minimalist fashion and the style of a minimalist. That's the impression I get. So he mustn't spend extravagantly on the things he owns. But I can see he does wear very expensive clothes, so he must dress well, or he must give the impression that he looks quite smart. He's also got his head in the library, so he must be quite a good reader. I'd say he reads quite a few books, both educational and recreational, professional as well, of course. It's something he enjoys and it gives him strength. I'd say he has his head in a book right now. That's how much he enjoys reading. You know, this is a guy that shoots for the stars, and he's about to try to get you in the exact same way. He's going to try to bring you to him by bringing you closer to his side. But I think you're too high up. You know, it shows me here that he's trying the wrong method. He needs to climb up to where you are, but instead he expects you to move towards him. However, the question is, how do you pull a star from the sky? And the answer is you don't. So it shows his challenge. Is his realism and his practicality about trying to progress this relationship. Because he must realize that he has to do the work. He can't just sit there on his throne and expect you to turn in his direction and move his way. But the funny thing is, he does feel ginormous compared to you. But he's only taking small steps towards you, and I can see here that you appreciate your sleep, and he observes you being a restful person. So he must understand that you need your rest. But he's also willing to protect himself from the sleeping lion in you. So you must come on very strong at times. He does feel, though, that you could be very caring towards him, but the truth of the matter is that he is very focused on his business or wealth affairs right now, and it distracts him from his focus on your love relationship. But it also shows here that you are minding your own affairs anyway. So if you are fully aware of his feelings towards you, it shows that you are also busy within yourself. And in the recent past, you have pacified this person in your own way, but that you are now focusing on yourself again. And you may not know this, but he has just recently wrangled that snake that has been attacking you. So it's obvious that he's a very strong fellow. He can be stone cold in pursuit of wealth, though. He's a very focused individual in that respect. And it also shows here that you make him feel as vulnerable as a boy. So overall, you do come across as strikingly beautiful and strong. But he must be shy of you.